Here's how to make this by yourself right in After Effects. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is King Sam, and it's been a while since we have dropped a video like this. And for the beginners, it's going to be very beginners friendly. You can learn from beginning to the end because I explained a lot of concepts. If you don't understand anything, you can leave a comment in my comment section. I'll be sure to get to you. For intermediate to professionals, this can be something that you can use to learn a new thing from. And if you have a problem with it, same thing, you can drop a comment in my comment section. The easiest way to contact me also is by joining my motion design community. Link is in the video description. Come say hi to more amazing people like yourself, and let's just have a fun time together. I'm not talking too much, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so we are here in After Effects, and this is our artboard 1 and our artboard 2. So we're going to be animating it. So let's get our artboard 1 first. Select everything here, copy, create a new composition and situate it by 1080. Let's put at 10 seconds. Our background color is white and click on OK. So what I can do now is I can just paste this inside here like this. So next thing I'm going to do is I have to animate this group, and it's just a simple position animation. Make a keyframe on the position here. Going to move it down a bit to somewhere like here. And for the initial position, I'm just going to move that out like this. So I can just select this, hit F9 to easy ease, open up my graph editor like this, and I'm just going to drag this inward like that. Now we have a simple animation that looks like this. Let's move this back a bit. We can adjust it later. And now let's work on this initial scale animation. So I can select everything from here to here. Let's need the final one here. So I can select everything like this. I'm going to open up my scale animation, and I'm going to make a keyframe on my scale. Going to move down, and I'm just going to reduce this until everything is at 0, so you don't see anything. So you have it coming up like this. So I select this, hit F9 to easy, open my graph editor, and I can just drag this inward like this. Now I can come somewhere like here. Let's come to around 2 seconds here, and I can just scale this up a bit. So let's open my graph editor and just make sure that the animation is smooth. So yeah, something like this works out well. So this, I just adjusted my graph editor and moved it up so that it doesn't need to come down and stop before it actually moves to the other side. Now let's go back to our main composition, and we have this. That's looking cool. Now what I can do now is I can just alternate my circles. So I'm just going to give them 3 frame space. So let's move this back a bit. See it now. Okay. So we can still adjust these ones here so that we can make it go on for longer. Let's say somewhere like here. Okay, so now let's see where this stops. So it stops here like this, and let's come somewhere around here. Now I'm going to animate it so that it goes back to our other transition. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come to our box here, because the box is just one this thing alone like this. And I think I made a mistake initially, because I think I now centralized the anchor points. So I think I'm just going to do that now. And what I'm going to tell you guys to do is, please don't make the same mistake as I did. I want to put my anchor points at the end here. So I can delete this so that I can just redo that animation. Okay. So like a back. Yes, we're back. So now we have it moving in like this. And so from, let's say, around here like this, I want it to start the animation of it going back up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my scale also, and I'm going to unlink the scale here. Now I'm going to make a keyframe on the scale, going to move down like 5 frames here, and I'm just going to move that down. Let's move back up. Okay, no. Then I'm just going to reduce the scale like this. So right now I'm preparing it for motion. If there's a video on my channel, a short video talking about anticipation, so I'm building anticipation for the final movement. So let's come down to somewhere like here. I think here will be a good place, right, to do this final movement. And now I'm just going to increase the scale back up like this, but this one now I'm going to move the position also. So now let's check it out. Now let's come to around here, and I can just copy this position here and I can paste it here. So you know that there's not going to be a difference between the movement. It stays and it disappears like that. Now let's open our graph editor for our position. Okay. So see again. That's cool. I think it's happening too slow. Let's reduce it. Play back again. That's amazing. At this point in time here that it flies out, what I can do is I can just select all these layers here, Ctrl+Shift+D. I can delete the end parts. So I have to go to my second artboard, and that is this one. Copy it, bring it here, and I can paste it. Move everything back. Now it's not going to be part of our thing. It's going to be out right here, so I can just use shifts, and I'm going to just try and position it back. Now let's open our title action safe so that I'll be sure I'm putting it back in the middle. Hello everybody, 𝗪𝗵𝗵𝗵 here, and I get a lot of questions about when do you learn After Effects. I want to learn After Effects. How do I start? Do you have mentorship sessions? Do you teach people how to use After Effects? And yes, I do. Check out my YouTube channel first of all. And second of all, I want to announce that I'll be starting my mentorship program, my first ever mentorship program, really soon in the last week of March. And it's going to be going on till the last week of April. So it's a 1 month long mentorship session. The first week is free for everybody. So no matter what you are, who you are, you can actually join and come and learn something. But subsequent weeks are going to be totally for the paid members only. The price of the mentorship is 60,000 naira. That is around $45 for those that pay internationally, and I'm taking a lot of mentees at once. My first mentorship session, I want to take like 10 to 15, and that is just so I can give you guys my time and my energy, so I can get to know each of you individually and help you guys individually. I don't want to have a lot of people, so some people get lost in the crowd and it's not like they not gain anything at the end of the day. At the end of this program, you're supposed to even have your own portfolio that you can use to like apply and get work. So it's going to be me pouring my knowledge of over 6 years of motion design into you, and I'm sure that you're going to get a lot of practical examples. You're going to have a lot of solutions to problems that you're having. If you're like an intermediate that want to upskill, or if you're a beginner, I'm going to be starting from the scratch. So it's going to be an amazing time. We are going to learn a whole lot together, and just come with an open mind. And if you want to learn, please, you need a laptop. I don't do phone motion graphics. It's only laptops, and the software I don't be using is Adobe After Effects, Photoshop, and Illustrator. So just for you guys to be able to learn the workflow seamlessly. So please, if there's something that interests you, you can contact me. My contact is inside the video description. My email is also there also. And if you want to just join the free the free classes also, same thing, contact me also so that I can add it to the group chat. If you want to go for the paid mentorship session, you can also add to the group chat, and subsequently I'll be getting more and more people to join the mentorship. So if you cannot get this first batch of mentees with mentorship, you can get the next batch and the next batch. And now let's work on this our animation here. So this is coming from down up, so it's going to continue the same motion. Keep it on your position, drag it down, let's say somewhere like here. Now for this one, I'm just going to move it down like this. Before you do anything, make sure that you carry your anchor point also, and you're just supposed to move your anchor point downward like this. Hold down Command so you can flip very well. So I can move this down, and I'm just going to still drag this down again. Outside like this now. Select this, hit F9 to ease, open up the browser editor, and drag that this way also. So you have this cool looking animation. Like I said, we're going to add some anticipation to it also. Let's show our scale. When it's coming this way, it's already going to be distorted. When it reaches this top part, that's when it's going back to 100. Let's unlink this, move forward for 5 frames, and I'm just going to lengthen it like this. So let's do that again. Okay. So that we have that one now. So now let's work on this other things around it, these bottles and whatnot. So let's go. So what I'm going to do is that for this one and this one, is I'm going to open their position property and their rotation property and also their opacity property. Now, at the beginning here, it's not supposed to be that visible. We can work on that later. But at the end here, it's supposed to already have gone to the place that it's supposed to be. Let's say here. Now, I can make keyframes on their positions. Now, I can go back a bit. Let's say about here. And I'm just going to move them downward like this. I'm going to make a keyframe on their rotation, move it forward here. And for their rotation, I'm just going to move it also like this. Now for the one on top, let's say I can take this one a bit further. Let's drag it back somewhere like this. Now you have something that looks cool like this. So let's come here like this, make a keyframe on opacity. And I'm just going to move it down like this. Go back to the beginning here, and I'm just going to take this to 0. So that's cool. Now I'm not going to put this thing more emphasis on the opacity again. Matter of fact, like I able to remove the opacity. Let's go P and R. And for my rotation, I'm just going to come down to somewhere like here. And I'm just going to rotate them this way also. So the rotation doesn't just stop. Okay, so let's move this back to the front like this. That. And I can still move this down a little bit more so that it gives it more time to rotate normally. Select this two like this, hit F9 to use ease, move on my graph editor, and I can just drag this like this also. Now let's work on the other two. So now with all this one like this, now we can just cut them down somewhere like here. And I'm just going to scatter them out like this. I don't want it to start immediately as this one is starting. So I want it to start coming out from somewhere like this. This one also, I can move it forward. So it starts here too. Cool. That's looking amazing. Now let's work on our text. Now this gets your grocery. I want all of them to be individual text on their own. So I can just come here, so all my text layers here, Control keys, click create, then convert to a table text. Now I want to just separate all of them to individual text layers, and the plugin I use for that's not on this system. I just realized now making this animation that I never have that plugin. I think it's called Text Exploder. I've made a video about it in my channel. I'll put the link somewhere here. You can check it out, but I can just do this by myself right now. So I can just duplicate this twice. First one, I'm just going to remove this get. Shift, I'll move it down like this. Okay. So the next one is now I'm going to remove the get. I leave the yo. I think I lined it up properly. I can't read this. So is it delivered to you now? So now we have all our text layers separated to individual spaces here. What I can do now is I can just come to the beginning here, over my position property, make a keyframe, move this down. Initial position, I can just drag this downward like this. Select everything here. F9, open up my graph editor again, drag it inward like this. Now, I can open up my opacity, the keyframe of my opacity, move down again, initial opacity down to 0. Okay, so now we have this. So now I'm just going to arrange it based on how it's the word is going to be read. It's going to be get your grocery. So get to animate first. Okay, so after a while of it being on the board like this, it's time for us to start animating it out. So what I'm going to do is, I think these two are the ones that animated at the same time. So we're going to just make a keyframe on their positions so that it holds the position for a while. We're going to move down a bit, let's say somewhere like here. And we're going to first of all move them outside. Now I'm going to come back to somewhere around here, 5 frames. Like this. I'm just going to, first of all, move it up a bit so it has a little bump before the final free falling goes. Open up my graph editor and just, do that. Bring it back a bit. I think they're better. So let's work on the other ones. And that is amazing. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to animate out my text. So let's see. Around here, that's when the text and this supposed to be leaving the frame almost at the same time. So let's just create a new null object. And I'm just going to parent all my text to that null. Open up my position property. And I don't know, let's just move this back a bit. I'm just going to make keyframe on my position here, move front a bit, it's around here, and I'm just going to raise that up first. Let not be go up by too much. So go to the front, and I'm just going to drag it down. Okay, so go to F9 that's, and I'm just going to drag this inward like this. Okay, so let's work on this one and meeting out also. It's supposed to start going out from the same time that this one starts going out. So let's go down here and keyframe on position. It is out. This is supposed to be out also. And I'm just going to drag that down like that. Graph editor, like always, drag this to the back. Let's check it out. Nope. Okay. That's nice. And let's move offset it by like 2 frames. Let's do that. Okay, let's move this forward a bit. Okay. So now before this goes away, we have to also anticipate it again. So then if I come back to my text layer here, not my text layers, yeah, my text layers here. Instead of me waiting for them to finish animating out like this, what I can do is that I can just reduce their opacity. So they can, or then their opacity can be going out somewhere around here. Yeah, I think that's okay. So for our final scene, I can just get the Jumia logo, bring that in, change this to composition, and I can just open this up, select everything here. I can copy it, come here, and I'm going to paste it down here and move everything back. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to first of all work on our star and our circle. So we are going to use the star as our transition. So I'm going to select all these layers first, and I'm going to click on continuously rasterize. I'm going to my star layer here, go to effect and presets, open this up, and I'm just going to type in fill and place the fill on that star layer here. Now I'm going to change the color of the layer to this orange here, and I'm just going to open up my position and my scale and make keyframes on that, and I'm just going to move that down. Let's say somewhere around here. Then for my scale, I can just scale this star up. I'm going to open up my rotation also. I'll make a keyframe on my rotation, and I'm just going to move it down. For the position also, I can just position it to the center of my composition like this. Let's keep on increasing the scale. Okay, so now I'm also going to work on the rotation and rotate it back a bunch. Okay, so for this now, I can carry this position and just move it like this. So we have this cool looking animation like that. Let's move this back a bit. We will work on that later. Now we have this cool looking animation like that. Can select this F9 too easy is open up my graph editor. We're going to drag this inward like that. Let's check it out again. Okay, it's happening a bit too fast. Let's move this inward some more. Okay, and that is amazing. Now I can take my scale animation here, and there's this plugin I've talked about before, motion tools. I'll put the link in the video description, and I'm just going to use this elastic plugin here. On this thing here, I can just increase this to, let's say, like this, maybe 217, and take this to like 90. And I can come to my circle here, open up my position of my circle, open up the scale, make a keyframe on the scale and the position. I can move the position down here, and I can move the scale somewhere down here. Then I can just reposition this center of our composition here. So let's move the position down here also, and the scale like this. Here, I'm going to bring my scale to 0. Select this, go to motion tools, go to elastic. Just going to increase this like this, and increase this also like this. Now, on this my star layer, I'm going to go make a keyframe on my color here. And I'm just going to go to this place here, and I'm just going to change the color of the star to white. Let's move our position down a little bit more. Okay, I think for the circle, the amplitude is too much, so I can reduce that to somewhere like here. I can also reduce the decay. Okay, that's amazing. So the final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my shape layer here, and I'm just going to trace out, make sure nothing is selected down here, and I'm going to be doing it individually. I'm going to trace out the individual letters in this Jumia. So next I'm going to do is going to move all of them down. So let's just move them, align them with each other. And now I'm going to open up each one. I'm going to go to add, and I'm going to go to trim parts. Open up 3 parts, make a keyframe at the end. Okay, now I can select everything here like this. Hit T to open up, I say hit P, hit U, so you can see all your all your keyframes. Can go to the beginning here, and I can just teach everything down to 0. Okay, so for now, let us hide this too. Okay, now I'm just going to select everything at the end here. F9 to use one of my graph editor, and as usual, I'm just going to press that like this. Will I see that? Okay, so now I'm going to go to their track mats, and this one I do as I say, not as I do. You're going to rename it for yourself, but for me, I'm not renaming anything since I know it in my head. This is shape layer 1. Then before shape layer 2, shape layer 3, shape layer 4, and this is then before shape layer 5. So if you can see the animation looking clean like this. So now I'm going to bring back my star and circle like this, and it has to start animating when the motion starts. Now
Let's select all this, and I'm going to move them below the star and circle based on like the layer arrangements, like that. And that's all of this right here. Now I'm going to create a new null object, and I'm going to parent all this like this to that null object. Now let's make a keyframe our position, and it's going to be our final position. And for initial position, now we can just move this backward like this. Now let's find out where it starts the motion from. Okay, this start moving from here, so we can move this one back also. Now what we can do is Fn. You can just hit F9 for this one. Open up our graph editor, and as always, we're just going to make that smooth. So we have this. That's cool. So now I want it to start animating. Each one should start animating once it has crossed this circle. So for example, the J now will start animating from here, but this is where it crosses the circle. So where's my G for Jumia? This two like this now can be moved to the back here. So this is where the animation is going to start from. Our U also can go there. Now on this A shape layer here, I can open my trim path settings. Since we have to, we can choose for the two of them to animate the same. For example, you can see that here and here animating at the same time. But I don't want that. I can change this individually. So the one that is on top will animate before the other one. And let's press on top. So I can swap that. Then let's do a little bit of correction. Okay, so we have some corrections we have to do. Let's go to this end. Okay, so the final thing I'm going to do is for all these layers here, I'm going to just show this thing, and I'm really going to come to the end here where this E stops, and I'm just going to move all of them, so all of them end with the A at the same time at the same place. See that again? Yeah, that's looking amazing. And if you follow the entire process, by now you need to have something that's looking like this. Thank you for watching that video. What do you think? Let me know in my comment section. If the video has helped you anyway, please remember, like, share, and subscribe. There are amazing more videos where this is coming from going forward in the future, and I'm sure you are going to love it. So from now to the next video, remember something: improve every day, grow constantly, and dream endlessly. Love you guys.